Hello guys, and welcome back to more Lyon on the Force 9's YouTube channel. Look at the save on FM 2015 and the past 3 years. This may be the last video with the save. It depends on what you want to see. As I've said in the past 2 videos, in the comments, if you want me to do a 4th season with Lyon, then put yes in the comments. If you want me to move on to a different save, do something else, put no. Over this video and the previous 2, I'll have a look at what people say. If there's not a lot of involvement, then I'll make the decision. But if there's a bit of feedback and people say yeah, do a 4th season, I want you to beat Marseille and win the league, I'll do it. If you're saying, well, do something different, then I will do something different. It might take a few days break just to try and work out what I want to do, because I have a lot of options that I want to do, so there might be a bit of a break if that's the case. But yeah, I will completely take your stuff into consideration. Anyway, yeah, as I said, today's video is just like a recap of the past 3 years, really, and mainly a recap of this season. In the last video, our last live com, we won the Coupe de France. We beat Lille 1-0 in the Stade de France with a penalty from Wissam Ben Yedder. Looking at the league, we finished in 2nd place, of course. We were top for a time, but we lost at home against Marseille, and then we lost to Lyon. And then our last 2 games of the season, a double live com 2 episodes ago, we lost to Nantes, and then we beat Evian. And Marseille won the league by 5 points for the 3rd time in a row. So yeah, if we do a 4th season, I'm absolutely having that top spot, and I don't care what I do about it. Had a little email a little bit a while ago, like a few days ago. Where is it? Here it is. Nika wants to discuss personal matters about leaving to join Liverpool. I tried to fob him off, saying, they haven't actually made a bid yet. It's just interest. And he says, no, that's not good enough. And then I was like, look, get used to staying here. I ain't selling you. And then he was like, oh, I'm not so happy how you dealt with this. And I was like, just get on with your job. So yeah, Nika, I think, might be unhappy. Let's see. Is he unhappy? Information. Minor. Oh, it's only a minor issue at the moment. Wants to join Liverpool as they play in a better division. France is a good division, and we're one of the best teams in the division. We're in 2nd place. Come on. So yeah, this is just a look at the 3 seasons really. So let's start at the beginning, shall we? Our first season, 2014 to 2015, seems like forever ago now. We started off really, really well. Our first defeat came against PSG. We were in the Europa League. We had a nice 5-1 aggregate win against Motherwell, and then we got through our group, only losing the last game, I believe. Or did we? I think we won all our games, actually. I'm lying now. No, we did lose 1-0 to Ludogorets in the last game, but that was a dead rubber, and we played a lot of youngsters. So yeah, we had some good results. We lost to PSG, we lost to Montpellier and Nice, and we lost the Rhone derby to Saint-Etienne. But we had some nice results. Had a defeat against Lens. Coupe de France was a bit of a bad one in our first season. Our very first match, we drew Marseille. Of all the teams we could have had, we get the best team, and we lost 1-0. Coupe de la Ligue, though, we won the whole thing. We beat Guingamp in the final. In the Europa League, we got to the last 16, where we got knocked out by Bayer Leverkusen. And in the league, in our first season in charge of Lyon, stages, there we go, we finished in 4th place. So we just missed out on Europa League football. We did kind of bottle it in the last few games of our first season, and we finished 4th in the end, where we could have been runners up. We finished 7 points off of Marseille in the end, and we finished 2 off of Lille and PSG, and we finished 9 ahead of Monaco. And it gave us Europa League football for the 2nd season. Let's have a look at the schedule again for 2014-15. So yeah, double live com. We beat Bordeaux 3-0, but then we lost to Rennes, and that cost us Champions League football. And then we moved on to the 2nd season. Excellent pre-season, and then the Europa League, our qualifying rounds, we had a 7-0 win against Mlada Boleslav, then losing 1-0 in the 2nd leg, which was meaningless. Beat Kilmarnock in the other playoff. In the league, we were unbeaten for a fair time. Didn't actually have our first league defeat until January 16th against Nice. Yeah, and a lot of wins as well, not a lot of draws. And then we had defeats. Who else did we lose to? We lost to Paris Saint-Germain. We lost to Evian, which was at home, which was that was a bad one. So yeah, not a lot of losses. We did really well in the league. Our last 2 games were a 2-0 win against Saint-Etienne and a 1-0 win against Nantes. Well, unfortunately, Marseille were just too good for us and they won for the second time in a row, and we were runners-up. Coupe de France this time round, we got a little bit further. We beat Laval, and then we beat Nîmes. But then we got to the 11th round and we got knocked out on penalties by Brest. As for the Coupe de France, we got to the 10th round, won 1-0. And then, Coupe de la Ligue. We got to the semi-final, but then Paris Saint-Germain beat us on extra time. And then in the Europa League, I think we got a step further. Our group consisted of Sparta Prague, Slovan Bratislava and Dnipro. And we got through the group fairly comfortably. Last 32, we drew Slovan Liberec. And we won 3-2 on aggregate. And then we faced Galatasaray in the last 16. Lost 2-1 at home, but then won the second leg in Turkey, 4-0. Got to the quarterfinals, Spartak Moscow. A favourable draw, but we just didn't do it. Lost 1-0 in the first leg, won 1-0 in the second leg. Went to extra time and penalties, and unfortunately, we got knocked out on penalties. But yeah, a very good second season. Didn't get any silverware, but we were runners up in the league, which was great. So yeah, those are the first 2 seasons really, and some good performances by players in there. Some of the players which aren't really with us anymore, such as Jordan Ferry, for example, very good player, and we got about 4 million for him in the end. Good payback. So let's move on to this season. This is what we're here for really. Start all off pre-season badly with a loss against Rio Ave, but that was pretty meaningless. It was just about match fitness really. Did very well in our other pre-season games. League. So let's filter out everything except League 1. And we'll have a look at that first of all. So, here is our Ligue 1 form. Unbeaten on our first 5, and then we had a defeat at home against Nice, which I believe was a live com, which was pretty bad. And then we had 4 wins in a row, and then we had a defeat against Lille, a goalless draw against Dijon was live, and a 2-0 defeat against Marseille. 4 in a row, won again, and then we lost to Monaco, and then we had a 3-3 draw against PSG. And after that Monaco defeat, we were unbeaten for a fair while, and we didn't lose again until we lost to Marseille at home. And that actually cost us. We were in the lead at that point, and then we lost, and Marseille overtook us. Then we lost against Lyon, which was a huge shame. And let's go to the double live com, which we had a couple of episodes ago, when Nantes beat us 2-0, and then we beat everyone 2-0. And that cost us that defeat. And Marseille won the league by 5 points. We'll have a look at their table in detail a bit later. We weren't in the Europa League this year, but we were in the Champions League. So we entered straight into the group stage after finishing in second place. And our group consisted of FC Copenhagen, Shakhtar Donetsk and Manchester City. Not an easy group. Man City were the European champions. And, Shakhtar were the Ukrainian champions and Copenhagen were the Danish champions. So, yeah, very difficult group. And, we won 4 of our games. We lost at home to Man City, but we beat them at the Etihad 1-0. Smash and grab win that was. And we had a draw against Shakhtar, but we finished top of the group, which gave us a good draw in the last 16. We could have had some bad draws. Teams like Real Madrid came second in their group, so we could have had a tough draw. We got Dynamo Kiev, and we got through just. We had a goalless draw in Ukraine, and then we beat them 1-0 at our stadium at Stade de Lumière. That's put us through to the last 8, where we drew Atletico Madrid. Not an easy one. Atletico, who finished 3rd in La Liga. We beat them 4-1 in the first leg, though. Excellent performance. We were 4-0 up, but they got a late away goal, as you can see, 78th minute. That away goal changes everything, because 4-0 and 4-1 are very, very different in aggregate football. And the second leg, after all that work in the first leg, all that work was just smashed away, just thrown away. We actually went 4-1 down to Atletico, which would have sent it to extra time. But then Marco Asensio scored a late away goal, and it put us through on aggregate. So yeah, we got through Atletico. Then we had, semi-final draw looked terrifying. We could have had Barcelona. I thought we were going to get Chelsea, but they threw away their lead and lost to Marseille 4-1 in the second leg. So we could have had Marseille in the semi-finals, but we didn't. We drew Bayern Munich. And very difficult draw. And in the first leg, we lost 4-1. They were 4-0 up in this game. We got a late away goal again, much like Atletico did against us. Ben Yedder in the 91st minute. And again, that away goal changes everything. But unfortunately, our second leg, we did win, but we did not win by enough. We won 2-1, and that made it 6-2. No, what am I talking about? 5-3 on aggregate, not 6-2, being stupid. So yeah, 2 goals from Kone and Fekir. Jokic got sent off in that game. I don't think I ever mentioned that, but he did. And then Alaba with an early penalty to put 1-0 up Bayern Munich. So we did well. Did Bayern Munich win the whole thing in the end? It hasn't actually been played yet, so I'll skip. I'll have a look at that a little bit later on. But in the Juventus won the Europa League. I know that much. They beat Liverpool on penalties in the final, 3-0. Liverpool did not score a single penalty. All 3 were either saved or missed. Balotelli missed his, and Juventus scored with their 3 penalties. Liverpool could have retained the Europa League, but they unfortunately did not. So that was our European competition, the Champions League. Let's go to the Coupe de la Ligue now. Didn't do very well here. We entered the 4th round and we needed penalties to beat Monaco. Had a lot of penalty shootouts this season. I remember me playing like 7 games off screen between 2 live comms, 4 of which ended in extra time. 3 of those extra time games went to penalties. One of them was Monaco, which we won, and then we got through to the quarterfinal and faced Dijon, but we lost on penalties here after a 1-1 draw. Wasn't a great performance in the Coupe de la Ligue, but the board didn't regard it with any interest, so we didn't really lose any brownie points for that. Finally, let's look at the Coupe de France, which we won, as I mentioned. This was our last live com where we beat Lyon. Again, we needed penalties to beat Cayenne, but we went through. Then we faced Marseille in the 10th round, and Doria scored an own goal in extra time to put us through to the 11th round, where we beat Nancy 3-0, sending us through the quarterfinals, where we had a great win away against PSG. We were down to 10 men, and we scored 2 goals in 2 minutes and won 2-1. Sent us against Toulouse, again away from home, and we won 2-1. Lacazette with a second half brace, putting us through to the final at the Stade de France, and we only won through a penalty. Wasn't the best of performances, wasn't the most exciting game, but we beat Lille 1-0 and we won the Coupe de France. So excellent stuff there. So that's it. That was this season. So let's have a look at the table then. So here we go, stages. So as I said, we finished that's 2014-15. So there's 2015-2016. We were runners up. We were 5 points off Marseille, but Lille were a bit closer behind us. They finished in 3rd on 82 points, a point behind us, and 7 points behind us were Paris Saint-Germain on 76, and 10 behind us was our rivals Saint-Etienne. So this season, let's have a look. So as I said, again, we were 5 points behind Marseille, but this time the gap back to Lille was a bit further, 14 points further in fact. They finished level with Monaco on 69. PSG finished with 68. Rennes do qualify for the Europa League because a Champions League team won the Coupe de France. So Rennes qualify for the Europa League. Lens had a very, very good start, but unfortunately they miss out. They finished on 59 points and they do not get European football. Saint-Etienne finishing in 8th in the end. Not a great season for them really. 58 points there. Nice and Bastia round out the top 10. Nantes finished 11th with 49. Bordeaux also on 49, only lower on the goals scored. Toulouse finished with 41. Dijon on 40. Lorient on 39. Montpellier finished 16th with 38 points. They were in danger of relegation at some point, and I don't know what's happened to them. They won the league in 2012. 5 years later, they're dancing with relegation. Everyone escaped the drop with a 34. The 3 relegated teams are Nancy, Le Havre and Stade Reims. Let's have a look at Ligue 2, see who is coming up for if we do a new season. So it's the 3 teams that were in Ligue 1 last season. It's Metz, Cayenne and Avignon. Exactly the same teams. Auxerre just about miss out on promotion. They have been missing from the top league for a fair while now. Got relegated in 2012, finishing bottom. And I'd love to see Auxerre come back up. You know, they're a very good French team back in the day, Auxerre. Going back to, well, they finished 3rd in 2010, but going back to like sort of the 90s, Auxerre, they were a great French team. I don't know what's happened to them. Relegated from Ligue 2 were Gazélec Ajaccio. I pretty much butchered that pronunciation. Laval and Boulogne. Did Paris FC come up? They did. Paris FC back in Ligue 2. They finished 3rd. Sedan and Le Mans also promoted to Ligue 2. If you haven't seen second yellow card save of Paris FC like, from the shadows, very good save actually. Trying to sort of get Paris FC up to the same level as PSG and try and take back the city of Paris if you like. Very good save actually. I'm enjoying it. He probably doesn't see this though, so never mind. No, not never mind. Relegated from the CFN, Mulhouse, Le Paris-Chevy, Strasbourg, and Red Star. That's also a Paris team, I believe, Red Star. Red Star FC. I think that's another Paris team, but I'm not certain. They were back in Ligue 2 in the mid-90s. And now they've been relegated even further to the amateur league. So that's that. I'm going to have a look at a few other leagues around Europe. For example, England. Something I did notice, actually, I was looking at... it came up with top scorers for England. And believe it or not, the top scorer for England, for the English League... Can we actually see the Premier League, please? Let's go up. Let's just pick Arsenal. Let's do that. So, yeah, here's the league. So, Liverpool won the league, 3 points ahead of Chelsea, 4 ahead of Man City, 9 ahead of Man United, and 9 ahead of Man City. Southampton and Newcastle get the other Europa League places. Norwich, QPR, and Derby are relegated, but the top scorer was QPR's Franco De Santo. I don't know, I'm not certain if a relegated team has ever had a top scorer. I'm trying to think, I don't know, I remember Kevin Phillips being the top scorer, but I don't think Sunderland were relegated that year, were they? So I'm not quite certain. Aguero and Perez also get into more than 20. Perez is actually a very good player in this game. Actually did an experiment with Pjanic going to Liverpool. Perez was went to Liverpool and then he moved a season later in a player plus cash deal to Real Madrid, I believe. I can't remember. So that's the English leagues. So Championship, Leeds won it. Oh no, this is 2016. League One, Charlton. Oh dear. Where's the FA Cup and that? Vanarama Conference, Conference North, Conference South. FA Cup. Liverpool won the FA Cup. QPR won the Capital One Cup. Are you serious? So they probably didn't actually have enough money to go into European football. Sorry, my phone was buzzing then. Sorry about that. So yeah, that's that. I'm not going to look at other leagues. I just found out finally that Franco De Santo won the Golden Boot. So what do we do now? 17 minutes recording. Right, well, let's look at the squad. So yeah, everyone's on holiday, as you'd imagine. So let's have a look at our first team squad. And all the guys that played for us this season. I'm also going to filter in. I filtered in reserves, okay. So let's start off with the goalkeepers. So Lopez and Gomes are our first two goalkeepers. Gomes played in almost every one of our cup games and Europa League games. Only games he played in the league were when Tony Lopez got injured. So he only played 3 league games. Conceded 3 goals in them. Overall, his overall rating was 6.88 on average in the league, 6.93. So he played 15 European games, 5 cup games. He's been pretty solid for us, actually. He conceded 23 goals in 19 games. So, yeah, he's a half-decent goalkeeper. And Gomes as well. He's only 23 years old. He's only going to get better. So, I think he will be a successor to Lopez. Looking at his report, hasn't got a great deal of potential. So, we'll see how we do. But, I mean, Tony Lopez is going to be a big servant to this club, I think. He's been with us for 10 years now. Over 10 years, 11 years, in fact. Tony Lopez, 26 years old. Again, you know, he's getting better and better and better. Got a bit more ability than Gomes. Quality player, it says. And his rating this season, 6.94 on average in the league. And 6.94 overall as well. Only played in 1 cup game. That's because I forgot to put Gomes in. Conceded 26 goals in 35 league games. My phone is buzzing again. Right, please stop. Yeah, so that's our goalkeepers. And then our backup goalkeeper who we signed, I think he was our Joker deal, Corentin Schmidheisler. I'm going to say it like that. Hasn't actually played for us yet. Played in the reserves. Played 13 games, conceded 18 goals. So yeah, that's it. Right, let's go to the guy with a slight concern. Konstantin Nika has been... I don't know if he was our best player statistically, but I think he was. He had good ratings almost every single game, apart from a couple of defensive errors. He's been absolutely amazing. But unfortunately now, Liverpool are interested in him, and, well, he wants to leave. He wants to go to a better league. But I want to hold on to him. He signed a new deal this year. He's earning 32 grand a week. And he's signed a new contract. And I do want to keep him so bad. The Romanian right back has done very, very well. His physicals are great across the board, as are his mentals. And, you know, the technicals are good for the position he plays, which is really, really good. Boris Marin is a regen who's played a couple of games this season. In fact, let's go to stats, and we'll go cursor's frozen. Great. Right, let's go to overall stats. So Boris Marin, he hasn't played 25 league appearances, I'll say that much. Right, we'll go to league. Alright, so Boris Marin hasn't played in the league. In fact, I think he played in like one cup game and that was it. Yeah, just one cup game off the bench and that was it. He's a regen, so he could be something. He's definitely something for the future. Lindsay Rose is likely going to leave the club this season. Useful player. Played 10 league games this season. 9 of them were starts. Had a pretty solid rating, you know, pretty average. Didn't do anything wrong really. I just don't think he's good enough for the squad anymore, and I don't think he thinks that either. He's transfer list and all that. Dylan Mbumbuni, very much a utility player. I tried starting him in a few games, but he didn't really impress me. So I think he might be leaving, probably on loan. As for Samuel Umtiti, he signed a new deal this season. He's earning 37 grand a week. He's worth 14.25 million. 23 years old. Sam Umtiti is just going to get better and better and better. He had a call up for France this season. Hopefully he gets more call ups. Potential ability. Well, it says he's not going to improve in the future, but he's 23, so I'm not sure. He should improve. He must improve. But you know, he's great. He's a great defender. Goals this season, 5 league goals. He got 7 in all competitions compared to 10 last season, but his ratings were a lot better. So Umtiti's been a top defender for me the whole save. Really, really good. Ahmed Higazi was a player that we signed for free. Hasn't played for us, I don't think, like at all. I think he might have had like one game from the bench and that's it. So I think he'll be sort of a backup player. He'll be very much like Lindsay Rose, except he's a little bit better. Bakary Kone is a naughty boy. He got sent off twice this season in as many games. 2 red cards. As you know, ratings wise though, he's done pretty good. He's got a couple of league goals this season. He also scored in the Champions League. Got an assist as well. Pretty solid ratings, but he's just a bit of a physical player and he gets a lot of cards and red cards. But yeah, he's not a bad player at all, Kone. Good defender. And I think him and Umtiti still will very much be our best defensive duo, unless one of them for some reason goes. Well, we need a new one. Hervé Mombela is he's a utility player really, just there to be there really, not really going to get any games. Same with Lawrence, he's a regen I believe, 16 years old. Lawrence, he's not too bad actually, so he could get some games if we do a new season. Captain Gonalon might not be captain next season. I'm thinking of making Grenier my new captain if I continue, because Grenier's been amazing. But Gonalon has done well in that anchorman position that he does so well. Looking at his report, he's still a quality player. We'll see how he does. So yeah, he's a decent player. He scored 1 goal in Europe this season. The only goal he scored this season. Had a couple of assists, but yeah, he's done pretty well. 6.94 is a decent rating. Frank Kaufman is a 17-year-old regen, and he's a half decent one as well. He's played a few games this season. Played 5 league games, 2 of them were starts. He's also come off the bench in a European game. Been pretty average, 6.6. Not great, but again, not terrible. So I think he will only grow. His attributes will going up. Physicals, apart from the jump and reach, are quite good. Stamina wise, I think he's good. Determination and decision making good. Leadership's fine, so he can work from the back. He can sort out that defense behind him. Decent work rate as well. So Kaufman will definitely be one for the future. Murphy has not played at all this season, so I can't really say anything about him. Tolisso has been the main backup to Gonalon really. 22 years old. His report is not as good as it was before. He's still a very good player, but we'll see how he does. Played 18 games this season, 14 of which were starts. He got 1 goal and he averaged 6.94, so pretty solid. Bojan Djokic is a left back and he's a left wing back. He's 31 now though, so he's getting on a bit and he's not going to do any better. His attributes are starting to decrease. So I think Djokic, I'm going to see if I can offload him this season. But he's had a good season. He got 7.22 this year, so he could still be good for us. But we'll see. If an offer comes in for him, then we might sell him. But yeah, I will be listening to offers for him. He got 26 appearances this season, 4 of which came from the bench. He got 5 assists and 1 man of the match appearance. But some of his ratings have been a bit poor. Henri Badimo is the other left back. 32 years old, but he's been doing very well. Average was very good. 7.51 average from 15 league games, all of which were starts. He got 2 goals and 1 assist and 1 man of the match award. Overall, in the 22 appearances, he got 3 goals. So, yeah, him and Bojan Djokic, I think I can't decide which one I want to as my first choice left back. They've both done very well. So that's going to be hard for me. Arnold Wimbar, 32-year-old. He's probably not going to be at the club much longer. His report, again, useful player. Hasn't been very good in training in the past month. And he's eating up, 18 grand a week of the wage budget. So I might look at, I think I'm going to offload him Wimbar and go for another midfielder. Sami Khedira, we signed this season from Real Madrid for 3.1 million. Played 36 games this season, almost every game. He got 2 goals and 1 assist, 2 very good goals as well, both from long range. 1 assist and 1 man of the match award. 6.94, pretty solid player. He's done very well for us. Had some bad games, he's made some errors, but at the same time, he's put some great balls forward. Done very well. Fuad Ali, regen. He could play pretty much identical positions to Khedira, really. He's kind of a young Khedira, a young French Khedira. So, yeah, again, one for the future. 16 years old. He will get some games, more games next season. This season, he made 3 appearances, all of which came from the bench in the league. He played in one cup game and he came off the bench in 1 European game. Alwa Hussein is not a regen. He's one of our youth players. He's 18 years old and he's done, he's come up this season and he's actually done pretty well. 6.8 on average in the league. He got a goal as well in his 7 appearances, 3 of which were starts. One on loan to Zidane for a couple of seasons and didn't do very well. He got a few games this season and he actually did okay. 8 Benas has not played at all. He went on loan and he came back. Marco Asensio was signed on loan from Real Madrid. Started off very well, but his rating was 6.91, which doesn't really tell the whole story. He had some awful games. He had some really bad games. Got 4 goals this season in the league, 6 in all competitions, 2 assists. So I don't think he's done enough to actually stay at the club. And I don't know how much we'd actually have to pay for him to keep him. So I think we'll let him go. Nabil Fekir's had a quiet season. He had some injuries. As you can see, he tore his hamstring in September of 2016, kept him out for 3 months, and he never really got into the swing of things. So we'll see what happens with him. He played 15 games, 9 of which came from the bench, got 2 goals. He's turned into a bench warmer, so I think I might look at selling him maybe. Gorkov. So he's still injured. He broke his toe and he's going to be out for another 3 weeks or so. Age 30 now. And some of the attributes are starting to go down. So I'm wondering if I should cash in on Joran Gorkov. He's injury prone. Still a very good player. If we look at his history. 30 appearances this season, 4 of which came from the bench. He got 6 goals and 5 assists. And his average was the lowest so far, 6.88. Which is still pretty solid. Still okay. But yeah, I need to decide what I want to do with him. Do I want to cash in on him or not? He's worth 2.4 million for some reason, even though he's on 60 grand a week. He was our highest earner, but that is now Lacazette, I believe. So yeah, I'm undecided on Gorkov. I'm not sure to cash in on him or not. Grenier is definitely staying. He is probably going to be our new captain next season. 26 years old. He was in the team of the season. Got a 7.32 average this season. 3 goals. He was the top assister in Ligue 1 with 13 assists. And he got 2 man of the match awards. Great player, and I'm really enjoying having him in my team. Now we move on to some of the attacking players. So here we go. Alexander Lacazette. What a player. Got 22 league goals this season, 32 in all competitions, and he missed 3 months with a torn hamstring. Just amazing. He got 26 last season and he got 38 in all competitions. This season didn't do as well, but his average rating was even better. He got 6 Man of the Match awards and 7 assists. So yeah, he's done great this season. I'm really impressed with Lacazette. He's world class. If we look at his reports, there we go, 4.5 star. So yeah, fans have a great affinity towards the player as well. Forgot to mention, I won manager of the season. I'll just mention that right now, throwing that out there. Ben Yedder was a new signing this season. He only cost 4.7 million and he got 13 league goals and 30 appearances. 18 in total out of 46 games in total. So yeah, very good signing for me, I think. Spent a lot of time on the bench. He had 11 substitute appearances, but he did start some games in Lacazette's absence and he really put his foot in and he really stepped up and he got 13 league goals this season, 9 assists as well, which is great. And they averaged 7.35. There's a good signing from Toulouse, it seems. Morpay hasn't played at all. Dino Halilovic, we got on a free in our first season. He was a free agent. Played 26 league games this season. Got 3 goals, 5 assists, 1 Man of the Match award, and averaged 7.06. So very good. He's had his best season so far, definitely. Yeah, really impressed with him. His report now, let's see. Could be 4 stars, but at the moment his potential is 3. So yeah, still good though. He's going to have at least another year for us. Luke de Jong I'm undecided about because I'm not sure whether or not I want to keep him. He's not a great player. He's useful. But he's done well this season. He got 3 league goals in the end, but he only started 3 games and he had 10 from the bench. He was very much a super sub for us, I think. I think all 3 of his goals came from the bench, I think, in the league anyway. Average 6.77, so that is a very average overall performance. So yeah, I'm undecided on de Jong. And then Nicolas Aldrin has had a couple of substitute appearances in the league and also started a cup game very early on, I think. Averaged 6.7. So yeah, not sure what to do about Aldrin. He's looking okay, but we'll see. Looking at our under-19s, as I said, we've got loads of potential here. I mean, look at all these players that are on 5-star potential maybe. They're not ready now because they're like 14 and 15 years old. But some of these guys look so good and I'm excited for the future. Even though I'm not doing the save long term. I'll only do it for 1 more year if you guys want me to. So that's the team. What we're going to do now, I don't actually know. How long have I been recording? Oh god, 32 minutes. I'm going to end this off here. I'm not going to look at the season next season. I will do that. I'll do that if I do another season. So again, I'm leaving it up to you. Unless I get like very little feedback, I will choose. But if you want to see me do a 4th season with Lyon, leave the word yes in the comments. If you want to see me do a different save, leave the word no. But that's going to do it for today. Thank you for watching this video and thank you for watching this save if it is coming to an end. I've really, really enjoyed it. But I suppose if I've enjoyed it, maybe I should do a 4th year. So if I don't get any feedback, I will do a 4th year. If not, well, if I do get feedback saying don't do a 4th year, do something else, then I will do something else. That just means that I need, just a few days break just to see, weigh up the options and see what I can do. I have a couple of ideas floating around, but I'm not going to tell you what they are. So yeah, that's going to do it. Thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video, whenever that may be. Goodbye.